Are you ready to unleash your full potential and become unstoppable in your success and leadership?
Welcome to the Unleashed and Unstoppable podcast, where we provide powerful insights and strategies for coaches, corporate leaders, and entrepreneurs. I'm Alexanne Carter.
And I'm Carol Register, and we're certified master neurocoaches who are passionate about helping you overcome your limiting beliefs and optimize your performance.
Each week, we'll be sharing actionable tips and strategies using neuroscience, from interviews with industry experts to solo episodes, to help you lead a life of power, purpose, and possibility on your own terms.
Join our community of like-minded individuals. Hit subscribe now, and let's be unleashed and unstoppable together. Hey there, we are so excited to bring you a quickie episode, a short, fast 10-minute version of action you can take today on the power of partnership and the kind of high vibe communities you're putting yourselves in and what that looks like, what that creates, the energy, and Alex Leanne, talk to us about the neuroscience experience of putting ourselves into powerful communities and partnerships.
Yeah, I think there's like that collective wisdom that comes about, right? And so when you're in that room of like the high vibe people, the people that have the vision and the beliefs, right, that are heading towards where you want to go, it opens up possibility. Your brain feels safe, and it allows you to really lean into a place of possibility and that space to dream, right? Because like, with our negativity bias, we're defaulted oftentimes to kind of look at like that it's not possible, or what are you thinking? And so when you step into that safe space and you're surrounded by people that ask different questions around, what is possible and what if, it opens the brain up to see possibility where maybe you didn't see it before. And it's that power of that collective wisdom that allows you in that space to then see something and access knowledge and awareness that you wouldn't necessarily potentially have access to outside of that environment.
I love that. I love that because you really do see possibility that you haven't seen before. It does, being in high vibe communities brings a different energy. When you're in a low vibe community, everything's heavy and it begins to sink, and we're affected by the energy that we're in. So looking at it from a frequency and an energy perspective, it really brings our energy up or works with the expanded energy we have. And then that energy expands, it grows, it elevates, and we find ourselves as a collective moving forward in a much more rapid way and in a much more powerful way as we're affecting each other. And, talk to us about how doing this, being in network, actually activates our RAS.
Yeah, I mean, there's two things that came to me right there as we were talking, Carol. One, I was thinking about, in leadership, we talk about the different operating systems, right?
Yeah.
So each operating system already is going to bring different perspective and different insights to the table, right? In a discussion. And then because of that, now we're activating the RAS, where we're the gatekeeper, right? Which is scanning the environment to see things. When we're in that space and we've created that trust is what allows, it's kind of like, I feel it's like the gatekeeper. It allows the gates to open and now see things that we didn't see before. So you might have got insight from somebody that is now new, but that really helped create clarity around a vision or clarity around something that you're looking for, right? And I always love it, like, especially if you've got the ideas in your mind and you have a conversation with somebody who has that same passion, those same interests, and they start sharing what's on their mind, or and you see now this commonality, and one is validating to your vision and what you're after, and two, there's that again, that safety piece of like, hey, somebody else is interested in this, and then it opens up, right? Again, it's just like, I always imagine, right, seeing this like
magical and miraculous.
This gate, like into a fair, into a castle, right? You've got these massive doors, and they're heavy. right? Castle doors are very heavy, but when you're able to like just like slowly open them up to possibility, you start to see things that have been around you all along, but you weren't
Yeah.
able to see it
Hidden
until the
in
RAS
plain
was.
sight. Yes.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, it's so true. And it really does become exponential and it becomes magical and miraculous. It is these things that were hidden in plain sight, and all of a sudden, boom, boom, boom. The energy, the energetic action of taking
Mm,
the step of putting yourself in partnership and community and high vibe groups that are aligned with what you're doing and moving forward activates the shift that's going to happen immediately. It is a quick win. And then as you grow with the community, you will begin to see elevated and faster results. And we've had our clients experience this, we've experienced this ourselves. And it's really important to understand in light of what you were saying, Alex Leanne, our brain begins to supply us with evidence, activating our reticular activating system. That's what the RAS is. And being able to learn and discover new things, because we each bring our own unique perspectives to the table. And so you're listening to really incredibly intelligent um, people who are able to provide something that you may not have seen. So that hidden in plain sight, I have experienced this over and over and over again. And on a practical side, we also, when you are in these communities, when you're in these partnerships, then trust is built
mhm.
immediately and much faster. And so, on a practical side, you can be, hi, I know you do health coaching, weight loss coaching, and I'm really needing to move forward in that area. Is it possible to partner with me to bring this to my clients or to help me with the kind of mentoring and coaching that I need? And that that building of relationships is what I've seen bring super exponential results, right?
Well,
So
and I think what you bring on there too when you're speaking about that is like in this collective, you now have the expertise of
yeah,
different areas of domains, right? And so that's super powerful, right? In terms of not just being like a solo needing to know everything. Like you can really stay in your zone of genius, and now you have the ability to collaborate and partner with other
yes,
people in those area expertise. And that was something I know, Carolyn, you and I were in a workshop this morning. That was something that really hit me when we were in that room. I thought it was so powerful that when we're all together, everyone has their lane, but everyone gets to stick in their lane. And it's like, hey, like, okay, so expert over here,
yeah,
what's your experience with this? Okay, expert over here, what's your experience with this? And all of a sudden you have access to a lot more knowledge and expertise, and you don't have to be the expert, right? I think a lot of times, especially high
yeah.
achievers, we feel like we have to know everything and we've got to be the expert in everything, but
Mm.
that just, it leads to burnout and that slows you down. When you can own your path and now collaborate and partner with other experts, it is so much more powerful. And you talk oftentimes like how about like from 2xing to 10xing. That is a, let's call the productivity hack of 10xing your knowledge, because you're no longer feeling like it has to be you.
Yeah,
You have this collect consciousness. Why is this? I don't know. There's a collective of
yeah,
consciousness or like coming together, right?
yes.
To create that. And I feel like when you get that, when that really clicks in, it's massive, because now you really just get to stay in your area of expertise and you get to share the knowledge and have that beautiful exchange,
Yeah,
and then together collaboratively create, a solution or come up with a plan or a partnership, and then serving more people, because now you
right,
have the access, right, to like that shared
right.
audience and ability, and just,
Yeah.
yeah, that impact that gets to be created when you have that is so powerful. I was I was thinking, Carol, something else too about what's powerful about these rooms is the conversation shifts.
Yes.
And in rooms where we're talking about wealth,
Hmm.
especially a lot of the rooms that you're in,
Yeah.
what do you see as the power in a room like we're talking about when it comes to your wealth? Because
Yeah.
now, right, this is a whole other ball game a lot of times with conversation or beliefs, or even people feel uncomfortable talking about money
Hmm.
and wealth. So what have you noticed like in these really these rooms and the massive shift it now has on your clients in their shifts and their ability to expand on their wealth?
I so appreciate this question because right now, as you know, my program's open for a short time. It is exclusive invite, it is private. One of the shifts I see when we come together energetically is feeling safe to be
Mm.
able to discuss these things. There are people who literally say, I would much rather go in and talk about sex than about money because
Wow.
money is or can be such a deeply emotional issue. It's a trigger. And so being in a community where you feel safe, where the
Mm.
trust is being built, where you can lay it on the line to get to that next level of where you're wanting to be, in my case, taking you to 7 or 7+ figures. This is really important. It's critical, in fact, to
Yeah.
be in those kind of communities. So, it like we spoke about in a recent episode, it's taking the barriers off instead of going, why? Or being limited, saying, why not? Why can I not be at this level? And being surrounded by those in community with you who are saying the exact same thing. That's where I have seen energetically the most magnificent breakthroughs happen.
And I know that you and I both experienced this where a lot of times we think we're the only one.
Yeah, the lone wolf. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And
carrying the
when,
weight of the world on our shoulders. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So what have you noticed like with your community right now? Because there is a because of fault like having that sort of lone wolf syndrome and
Yeah.
feeling like you've got to go at all alone and now walking into a space of with there's very clear direction of what gets to be created
Yeah.
with wealth that even seen notice or open up sorry for some of your clients.
Yeah, partnerships in community are such an important part of this. They're absolutely key, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
we do carry around a lot of baggage and we do begin to think from all the limiting beliefs from the messages and culture and society that we've gotten. It's lonely at the top.
Yeah.
You've got to struggle to make it. It has to be hard for it to be worthwhile. If you don't push yourself, it's not going to happen. All of these messages that we get and start to internalize. And through this process, being taught top down leadership for many, many years in many arenas, movies, music, you know, corporations, government, cultures, wherever it may have come from for you, religion, you begin to think that it has to be this one individual that is taking care of
Mm.
everything. So then when you're thinking about elevating your leadership, that's what leadership has been looking like for you. That's what's been mentored for you. Here's the thing, it's not the truth. And that's where those who operate at the top absolutely know, you will hear over and over, we did not get here alone.
Yeah.
We did
I,
not get here alone.
I was
Yeah,
gonna say, let's reiterate that again. We did not get here alone, right? And
that's
I know that was me. That was that, it's lonely, leadership is lonely at the top. That was said to me over and over and over and over again.
yeah,
And then you believe it. And then
yeah,
when you believe it, you make decisions based on that. Your actions will reflect that, the results, right? What was the
right.
result in my case and many of our clients and the people that we know is burnout
Yeah,
because what is that expression that something about going farther together, right? Like we
Yeah,
could,
yeah, we can go faster to get with a team, you
yeah.
know. And there are various sayings like that that I think the further we can go farther alone and faster with a team.
Mm,
But I would even challenge that because,
yeah.
really, again, if you look at those who are satisfied and heart-centered, who are successful, it is always in partnership and in
Hmm.
relationship and in networking and community, which was spoken of today on the workshop. So we just really want to invite you, listener, to be in high vibe partnership, be in high vibe community. If you'd like to work with me, while my program is exclusive, it's private invite, taking female leaders from 6 figures to 7 figures. We do it through amazing principles. First principle being your relationship with money is a reflection of your relationship with yourself. Then reach out to me. I will be opening new cohorts through the year. So it doesn't mean that you can't get in, even if we've already closed a cohort. There's a couple of spots left open right now. And Alex, I'd love to hear from you what you guys are doing over there at Peak.
Well, we are going through a rebranding process. So depending on when this episode goes live, we may have completed the rebrand or we may still be going through it.
Yeah,
And yeah, I mean, what's really important for us right now is like we know that you're here and your work transforms lives. And we want to help make sure that your website helps reach more people.
yeah,
And because of being a coach, I'm able to create that bridge between where you are, if you're a coach and a thought leader, right, with your
yeah,
expertise. Talking about partnerships, right? Like we work in partnerships. The P stands for partnership because we know it's important that you stay in your area of expertise, that you stay in your lane, and you partner with us that help you create that visibility, reach more of your ideal clients,
yeah,
and be able to build that trust, right? Because when someone is ready to work with you, as much as they might see all your socials, they're heading to your website, right?
yeah,
They're heading to your website. They want to learn more about you. They want to read the testimonials. They want to see if you're the right fit for them. And so you want to make sure that it's set up in that way that people are like, yes, this is the transformation I want to experience.
yeah,
Again, on the neuroscience side of things, right? Is your website building the trust that when your brain goes to the site that your brain is open to receive and connect with that. So that's been a really big thing that we are working on and just excited to have this refresh look that's a combination of both Andrew and myself. And yeah, so if you have a website, building a website, want to rebrand your website, definitely reach out and we're excited to work with you to help you reach more people because your work changes lives and we want to help you reach more of them.
See you guys next week. Ciao for now.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Unleashed Unstoppable podcast with your hosts, Alexandra Carter and Carol Register.
If you enjoyed this episode and you'd like to help support the podcast, please share it with others, post about it on social media, or leave a rating and review and subscribe.
That's all for this episode, Wildly Ambitious Leaders. See you next week.